Welcome to the Nebraska Hawk's Nest. These guys are brave! They're Hawkeyes, living in enemy territory. Listen, these guys are way past their prime, but they're still Hawkeyes! They're spreading the Hawkeye hype to all of Nebraska. The frost advisory is canceled! Corn huskers? More like corn suckers. Are you ready for this podcast? Let's go Hawks!
All right, welcome back to the Nebraska Hawk's Nest. Now we got getting some updates here. That's unexpected. We got a extra long intro video today that was a minute and a half long. We might have to shave that baby down a little bit. We have Randy and Shannon from Hawk Toys in West Branch, Iowa. We're doing our first episode of Collector's Corner, where we're going to be getting together with major Hawkeye collectors every couple of weeks, going over some really awesome memorabilia items. And there's no better person out there to start out with than Hawk Toys out in West Branch. They have some of the coolest stuff. And Randy is definitely one of the biggest and the best Hawkeye collectors out there. How you guys doing?
Oh, not too bad. I'd like to think I'm one of the biggest, but
absolutely, man. You got your own shop. Like, you're definitely, like, I'd say probably the godfather of Hawkeye collecting. Definitely. I'm aspiring. I'm a young protege, maybe trying to get to Randy's status someday, but I got a lot.
I can take you under my wing, but you got a lot to learn.
I know I do, but thanks for not giving up on me. I appreciate that. So I know with a lot of us, like Hawkeye fans, collecting Hawkeye memorabilia, the more vintage it is, the better. The more rare and different that it is, the more it's sought after. Randy, you got some really cool items. You have some old Iowa football posters that, you know these stories about these different items that I've never even heard of. So before you showed me this, I didn't even know that this existed. Can you tell us all about it?
Well, I was buying some stuff and I knew this guy collected some posters. This is just a little back history on it. And he's bought posters from me before, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. Collect some posters. So I come across some posters and was looking at them. Like, wait a minute, this one's different than this one. It's the same year. And did some more buying some and found a couple more. So I called this guy up and I go, well, what main picture is on your poster? And he tells me, and I said, well, do you have this one? He goes, no. Do you have this one? No. And this one? No. It's like, how many's out there? It's like, I don't know. You collected posters before I did. So it was kind of neat to find out something that someone collected before me, but I think I was the one that found that there was different varieties.
Is this the only year that that's ever happened, Randy?
There's other years with different varieties, but this is the one that just really intrigues me. I mean, okay. I contacted the university about trying to figure out how many different ones they made for that year, and the people that are there can't tell me because they don't know, and there was no records kept on that type of item.
What year was this?
1996.
Okay. And do you have one of those posters we can take a look at? They're pretty sweet.
This one is probably the most sought after one.
Okay.
It has Hayden Fry as the main picture.
That's awesome.
And of course, you can't diss Tim Dwight.
All-time great. And those uniforms are so unforgettable too. Like anything I can get my hands on with those uniforms, I jump on it.
Here's another one, the Cedric Shaw. But I got 10 different ones, and I'm the last one I found was like a year and a half ago. So there could be other ones out there.
Those are awesome. Do you have those like displayed at home, Randy? Are those your personal collection?
These are in my personal collection. There's Jared DeVries, Matt Sherman, Les Atkins, Nick Gallery, Vernon Rollins, Ross Verba, and Bill Ennis-Inge.
Wow.
Those are the 10 that I have. I'm always curious as to knowing if there's others out there. So if anyone watching has one that's different than these, I'd be interested in just seeing it. If it's for sale, I'd be buying it.
Randy, how do they get in touch with you if they want to wheel and deal with you a little bit?
Hawk Toys is probably the best. We're
Okay.
on Facebook, Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Email, hawktoys@gmail.com. We're kind of all over the place.
I'm a vendor at Fry Fest. If you can't do anything else, bring it to the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think I'm going to be stopping by your booth at Fry Fest. I need to make sure I take extra money out of the ATM when I come visit you every time because I always spend way too much. I got to limit myself and put a cap on it. And I got to tell you, man, and I'm going to tell you every time we do this, this is so refreshing to meet someone else that's as big as a Hawkeye memorabilia geek as I am. I felt like I was a loner kind of out there, like this is my passion and I love collecting. And I feel like we're riding in the same boat.
Definitely.
All right. What else you got for us?
Well, I bought some cards off of eBay once, many years ago. And after I got them, I just left them in the box and set them aside. And about 6 months after I got them off eBay, I started going through them, not knowing that there was an error card in there.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll take them off.
That's J Webb then, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the error on the card, Randy?
So show that one first. Show that one.
That's what it should be. You see the number on the front?
Yeah.
Form.
Should be 42 J Webb.
But this one has 52.
Wow. You're so good at finding that stuff. So
That was just a fluke that I found it. And there was others that I found since then. Within the last 2 years, another collector found one in the Davenport area.
Okay.
So there's probably others out there. The question I have, which little things intrigue me, these both have the right numbers on the back. Is there another one out there with 52?
Interesting.
The one with 52 on the front if it has 52 on the back.
So what would you, if you had to guess that misprinted card, what type of value does that have?
I don't think there's really any comparisons out there right now.
Okay.
But I do have another one for sale. I think I have 75 for the set.
Okay.
Mine, the regular normal one.
You know, and that's the cool thing about Hawk Toys too, that again, any of you collectors out there that are wanting to start to build your collection, they're really just a great place to lean on. Even if they don't have it, they'll hunt for it for you. And you guys have all of that extremely cool stuff that from every era of Hawkeye sports, from wrestling to, you know, you got posters from gymnastics. I think you got about every poster ever printed. Am I right?
There's over
Not quite.
There's over 400 for sale on our website. 400 different posters.
Randy, I don't know whoever took pictures of all those and put those up there, but they deserve like a nice
Nope,
dinner.
it wasn't me.
Well,
no.
she put them on there.
No.
My wife took the pictures.
Yeah, my mom takes all the pictures. And
You got some.
listening to this, thank you for taking those pictures. I know it's very tedious. You have to crop every single one. And
Wow, you got some supportive women in your life, Randy. That's pretty fantastic. That's
I'm
awesome.
surrounded by them. I don't have a choice.
So before we move on to some of the really cool memorabilia items that Hawk Toys has for sale, Randy, with you being one of the biggest Hawkeye collectors in the country, if there is a guy watching this or a girl that's like, I'd really like to get into Hawkeye collecting, but I really don't know what are some of the pillars or entry-level things that I could start to buy to start to build my collection, what direction would you steer somebody like that?
I would tell them, what are they interested in? If they're interested in toys, the buttons, the glassware, the pins or the hat pins, posters. I mean, there's such a variety of different areas they can go into. I mean, I got records, vinyl records.
Yeah, those are awesome. You really got me hooked on when you say toys. Can you elaborate on that? Because that, I had enough of a problem as it is. I didn't need you making it worse. And these cars that they're awesome. And I can't get, like, once I started now, I think I had like 3 or 4 of them. And then like once I started coming into your shop, I think I have about 15 of them now.
That's a nice start.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near you. I'm not comparing myself.
I have over
to you at all.
100 in my collection.
Good night. See, my problem is too, and I feel like Shannon might be able to relate with me on this. Like when I'm out looking for them, I'm like, I don't know if I have that one or not. I have to go back down into my basement and like look at them again and be like, do I have this one? I can never remember because there's so many of them that look very similar and there's small differences. So it's a little bit of a tedious collecting process. Do you have those all displayed in your personal collection right now?
Yes, they're in my basement in a display cabinet.
That's awesome. So if you had to pick one thing, Randy, in your collection that you're the most proud of, that is not necessarily, because most of us, and I think you can reaffirm this, we don't collect because it's worth a lot of money. We do it because
I've been offered a lot of money for certain ones and they're still in my collection.
Yeah, it's not about the money. It's about like the nostalgic feeling from it. And it's just, it's a blast. But what would be the one thing, personal value, that you cherish the most in your collection that you're never going to part with? You're taking that one to the grave or leaving it to Shannon?
I have the #1 dime bank still sealed in the bubble pack with an upside down label.
Okay.
And it's something I will not get rid of.
In that dime bank, is that a car?
Yes.
What do you know what type of vehicle that is that they did? I love the different vehicles that they choose to make. They're so unique, all of them.
There it is.
It's like this one here.
Okay.
But this label is upside down.
Okay. I actually have that one.
It's kind of hard to not catch that.
Wow.
Quality control.
That is cool. See, like I told you guys, like Hawk Toys has everything. It's freaking
I got
awesome.
a couple prototypes of toys that were mass produced, and there's just differences on them that's different from the ones that were actually made.
Okay. See, we're gonna get down a lot of rabbit holes on this stuff. I just know it. We might have
worms here.
But that's where Hawk Toys came from, was the banks from Irvine.
Okay. Shannon, I need to ask you too, because you seem so cool and so patient and so understanding about it. I know that like the Hawk Toys and these different collectibles, I don't feel, you tell me if I'm wrong, that they're not really your passion in life, but you are. She's very supportive though. Tell us about your feelings on all this collecting and the collectibles and Randy's collection, because I definitely admire your approach on the whole thing.
Yeah, so I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I got drug around so much as a kid. We're gonna go garage sailing. Oh, we gotta go pick stuff up. Oh, we gotta drop something off. I mean, I got drug around. I mean, everywhere. So my mom will attest to that too. She'd be like, where are you guys at? And so I grew up around it. I grew up having stuff in the garage and grew up having stuff in the house, So it was just kind of there, all the time. And then as I got older, I went to the university. So, I mean, I'm clearly a Hawkeye fan. Like, I do love the Hawks.
Oh yeah.
Just not insanely collectible as me.
There's pieces I've started to like say, okay, put this in your room. We're not selling that, which I'll probably bring out eventually. There's a couple of cool pieces that I think some people have seen because I put it on one of our lives and then I instantly regretted it and took it off.
Yeah.
Oh, mine. I'll bring that up next time or sometime later. But I think for me, it's more of like a business aspect. For me, I mean, and I think a lot of it was trying to just help my parents being, with COVID. I got laid off my full-time job last March.
Okay.
Gosh, it's been over a year now. That's crazy. And so I was bored and I started cleaning the garage, which is why kind of Hawk Toys, like social media, really took off. And then ended up opening a storefront last June. So I think for me, a lot of it is like business related, but also just like trying to help out like okay, how do we
Yeah.
manage all this stuff that you've been collecting since 1997? Like, okay, you have a bunch of extra stuff. What do we do with it?
And that's great. Like as a collector, if you're going to do a business like that, you need a business savvy, business oriented person to kind of direct everything. Because I know with collectors, they just want to accumulate and collect and get more. And if you're trying to run a business and make a profit out of it, you need somebody else to be like, we could probably part with that piece. Why don't we sell that? And so that's good. And Randy, man, you go ahead and adopt me any day you want. I'd go around to those garage sales with you. That sounds freaking awesome. I see. That's the one bad part about living in Nebraska. I don't want to go to any garage sales here. All the old Husker stuff. I don't need any of that. And I don't want any of it. So I
was a Nebraska fan. So
yeah. I used to love to do that. And I like to do that when I go back to Des Moines occasionally, find like the old memorabilia or shops or antique shops to, get a cool find or anything like that. I found like an old Forrest Evashevsky signed photo when I went to like a Newton flea market when I was back in Iowa, and they had no idea what they had. I bought it for like $20, like freaking awesome. But then the Big Ten treasure hunter wouldn't leave my house without me selling it to him. So that went home with him. So good old John Arcan. So Shannon, you got some items you want to show off to everybody here that are on sale at Hawk Toys in West Branch, Iowa, and on hawktoys.com.
Yeah, so we'll start with one of the toys that we were talking about.
I'm worried about doing this because I'm gonna have to hold back from trying to buy it. So just say, Adam, no, these are not for you.
Close your eyes and cover your ears.
It's a problem.
So this is Ertl Bank number 23.
Out of the series.
Yeah, so there's 1 through 23. And at this moment in time, May, 16th.
Okay.
We have all of the banks in stock. So if you want to buy all of them to complete your 1 through 23 collection, very rare that we have all 23. But this is number 23.
Awesome.
What it looks like. This is the last one that was made, and you can thank Randy for getting it made. They are $20 each, and they come in their original box.
And Randy had something to do with it getting made?
Elaborate.
I want to hear this. This sounds like a good story.
They quit making them, and I hated to see that series end. So I contacted Ertl and went through licensing and everything and had it made. I was wanting to do 25 for the series, but after this one here, they wanted so many more thousands made, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. So that there's 1,500 of these out there, so a little more rare than some of them. It's got University of Iowa on the top.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're really cool, and it was made in 2004, so you can see on the license plate. See if
nice.
2004. So this is the last one, and probably the last one that will ever be.
Shannon always does such a great job showcasing these items. Like I feel like she could be like on The Price is Right when they're showing off like the different prizes and stuff. She always shows every angle and every like on the lives. I'm like, I totally know what I'm buying. It's no surprise.
Well, after the first couple where I just like took my phone and just showed it quick things, people are like, wait, let me see the bottom. Let me see.
You learn from it as you go, for sure.
Everyone taught me.
So how much does this item go for right now?
So this one's $20, which is pretty cheap for one of the Ertl banks. The rest are more than that out of a box. So this is definitely the cheapest in-box bank. And it's interesting because not a lot of people know about this one. I mean, there's collectors of Ertl that we run into, and they're like, I've been collecting since they came out with, I'll just make up number 8.
Yeah.
And it's been a while, and I'm like, oh, do you have number 23? And they're like, oh, I didn't know that happened. Like, so kind of an unknown one in a way.
And you said you have multiples of that car?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Why don't you go ahead and send me an invoice for one of those?
Sounds good.
That's pretty cool. I really like those. Those cars are addictive. Once you start to collect them, then it's like, okay, well, I don't have this one. So thanks a lot, Randy. Again, I'm going to continue to blame you for this. So what else do you guys have for us today?
So since we're kind of talking about quarantine a little bit, and lovely pandemic we're in, we all probably watched Tiger King.
Oh yeah.
We all probably, well, you didn't, but
Randy, why the hell not? It was awesome.
It's all anyone talked about for like a week.
Because he's nuts. Great.
Yeah, and we had little.
I was working.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I didn't get laid off. I'm an essential person.
Touche.
Yeah, Fair enough. We had a little Hawkeye shout out where Joe Exotic, drank out of that Hawkeye mug. And I don't know if you can see it behind me, but it is right here, but I have it close. So this is the same mug. This is the same manufacturer who made it, same design, same mold. This is the mug that he drank out of. He honestly probably picked it up when he was doing some of his shows here when he traveled up into Iowa. These are $20, which is a heck of a steal for a big mug.
Oh yeah.
They are.
It's a piece of history too now.
Yeah. Even if you don't like Tiger King, I mean, this is a pretty cool mug. I love the bubble art on it. It's pretty fun.
It's cool.
Then, I didn't even know this was the back because we didn't see it in the show. And then, once we came across these, it's like, oh, that's a pretty cool back. So,
I don't know if this is true for a fact, but I did hear that somebody that went and toured his park was from Iowa, and they brought that for him as a gift and gave it to him, and that's how he got it. Now, I don't know Joe, so I can't tell you for a fact if that is true. And also, if you have not seen the Tiger King, anybody watching this, get it together. You need to watch it. It's well worth your time. It's I'm sure you've watched way more brain draining shows than that. It's definitely makes you dumber, but it's worth it.
We've got plenty of those if you want to gift them this holiday season to all your Hawkeye fans
or Nebraska fans. It don't matter.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of, I've given, so for my other small business, I've been making gift boxes, and I use that mug for some graduation gifts for some Hawkeye grads. So they can be used for anything.
Wow. And did you guys have any other items for sale that you wanted to show us today?
Got one last one. We just
got
one in probably last week. It's kind of a last minute addition. This is the old Capitol, and it is a decanter. So the top comes off here.
Wow.
The original cork is on there. Then on this side, you've got old Capitol, 1840.
That's cool.
This old top is really cool. It is empty.
Usually what happens is the top falls off and breaks and shatters.
Yeah. You see a lot of those decanters out there without the top on them, but I've never seen that before. Have you guys ever seen that before you got it?
Oh yeah.
Before this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had this one.
I've had it for several years.
We've had different ones come and go. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll see. Let's see. That's why you're the godfather.
Yeah, this one is a little chipped. This is the only one we have. Just a little chipped on the
okay.
You're not bad. Oops, there it is.
That chipped. I thought it was tape.
It might be tape. We'll try to clean it up. It looks like a tape.
Okay.
Look at it a little closer.
Very cool.
Western
How much?
Edition.
How much is that one going for?
That one is $60.
Wow, that's a great deal.
Yeah. Very vintage. You don't see it too often. I mean, that's the first one I've had for sale since last year. So,
yeah. And maybe I came across it at some point when I was out memorabilia hunting online or something, but I just didn't remember it. But for $60 to have a piece of history like that, that's super cool. I'll be surprised if that sticks around too long.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll put it on the shelf and see what happens.
All right, Randy, I'm going to show you this now. See, I got some of these things I think are real cool. And then Randy's going to be like, oh, yeah, I've got like 5 of those. So he's going to. Yeah, I'm sure. I'll show you one thing I don't think you have. This is it's a custom, and it's big, so it's going to be hard for me to show you. It's a custom McFarlane of Sean Green, like a life. It's a big one. It's not one of the small ones. And it said it was one of one. So. Nice. Pretty sweet.
The custom made stuff is neat. I'm more into the stuff that's mass produced because people relate to it.
So this one said that it was actually made by McFarlane, and they only made like like 1 or 2 of like the enlarged ones. So they make the big scale ones so that they can practice putting the paint on and doing everything. Okay. And then when they scale it down to the regular size ones, and so these bigger ones usually they don't keep, or they just keep in storage. And somehow that one apparently got out. So that was one of my more favorite and treasured items. And then I have a 1981 Big Ten champion bank here, if you can see. I'm sure you've probably come across that at some point.
First edition Bantrico Bank with the Rose Bowl on the back.
Yep. Right there. You got it, man.
There's actually 3 to the series. There's the Gator Bowl and then the Peach Bowl.
And if you ever come across those other 2, let me know, because I do not have those. So I'm looking for those. I only got the Rose Bowl one. So those are some couple of the cooler items. I got a whole slew of stuff. So I just grabbed a couple random things. You could probably come here and educate me about a lot of the things I have. I'm sure a lot more than I do. So that's why it's great we have you on here. All right, guys. Well, it doesn't sound like there's a whole lot else for us to go over. This is our first episode of our Collector's Corner with Hawk Toys. And Randy and Shannon, if you need anything for your Hawkeye collection, birthdays, gifts, anniversaries, anything like that, anything Hawkeye related, they got it. And then Shannon has also White Pumpkin Studios within the same building as well. Do you want to give us a quick rundown on it's a dual shop there with White Pumpkin Studios? Tell us about what you have there.
Yeah, so we kind of have like a his and hers shop. So the White Pumpkin Studio is a gift shop for any occasion. I've got chocolate bars, candles, soaps. I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff. Yeah, puzzles. I mean, it's a lot of things for any celebration. And then we split the store down the middle, and you can see behind us all of the Hawkeye stuff. These shelves go up 14 feet in the air. So there's a lot of Hawkeye stuff we packed in here. So it's just kind of a fun dual shop, and you get people who, like, you get a couple in, and one will be really excited for the candles, and then they'll turn the corner and see the Hawkeye stuff. So it kind of has a little bit for everybody.
And that's cool. Like, if you're around the Iowa City West Branch area and you're a guy, bring your wife with. She's got plenty to do there. And West Branch downtown's got a lot of charm. I love it down there. It's awesome. So, and that, White Pumpkin Studios has some very high quality items. And I definitely know you won't be disappointed if you purchase anything from there. So very cool stuff, guys. I had a freaking blast. This is so much fun. I'm such a memorabilia geek. I loved every second of this. I could do this all day. So we'll be doing this again soon, guys. Let us know what you think about it. And like I said, if you're wanting to start your Hawkeye collection, get on hawktoys.com. Reach out to Randy, reach out to Shannon. They'll get you whatever you need. They've gotten a lot of things from me. I can blame them for my bank account being quite a bit lighter and my collection being quite a bit larger. So thanks for taking time out of your guys' schedule to come on and chat with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks, guys.
If anyone has any suggestions about what they want to see next time,
yeah,
let us know, and we'll dig some stuff out.
All right. And still, like I told you, Shannon, you got to keep me under control. I already bought one thing. It's the first episode. I got to get it together. This is pathetic. My wife's going to kill me. All right. All right, guys. Thanks again, and have a great rest of the weekend. Go Hawks.
Thanks. Go Hawks.
See you later.